You know, at this point, ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest collections in the world is not Pokemon, it's not manga, it's not comic books. It's the amount of L's that Alyssa Mercante has been taking lately, and she has collected so many L's that I'm having trouble keeping up with how many L's she has collected. Well, we have another one, boys. We have an article here from That Park Place with a headline that reads, "The No Rest for the Wicked CEO, Thomas Mahler," which, by the way, shout out to Thomas Mahler. When I was initially reading this story and seeing your name, I didn't realize that you had made base comments before that I have covered in articles and videos prior, and I forgot about it, and I was wondering, oh, this guy sounds base, and then I realized, oh, it's the same one who was destroying other people before. So shout out to Thomas Mahler. Teaches Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercante how making video games works after she attacked him as a supposed dickhead.
I am shocked. Shocked! Well, not that shocked.
Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, Alyssa Mercante feels like she needs to put herself in every conversation because at the end of the day, she is desperate for attention. This we know as a fact, considering based off how she's acting and how she portrays herself. But Thomas Mahler decided to confront someone who was pretending to have work at Moon Studios, calling them out on a lie, which I think was amazing, mind you, because this person has been lying in the past and nobody called them out on it up until Thomas Mahler said, hey, I never heard of you. It was such an epic own, and we are here for it. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Thomas Mahler, the CEO of Moon Studios, which is currently developing No Rest for the Wicked, gave senior editor Alyssa Mercante a quick lesson on how developing video games work after she attacked him as a dickhead. Mahler's education of Mercante occurred in the wake of ex-user X Ingenuity implying she worked on Ori and the Will of the Wisp, which Moon Studios developed. She wrote in June, hey, new folks, I'm Ray. I work in the gaming industry in UX R&D, game production. I worked on various software and hardware for Xbox. I now work as an independent media producer and have the privilege of working on the Dota Internationals 2023 and other gaming media projects. She then shared an image of Ori and the Will of the Wisp. Now, this is where things got amazing because, again, I've seen this person on Twitter before, and she seems like a fake, right? I at this point, I don't even know if the picture is real. That's how fake this person is. This post was brought to a more widespread attention after they made a thread attempting to defend the video games industry's embrace of woke ideology. She even began her defense by claiming that DEI consultancy companies are not bullying studios into changing creative direction, despite Tweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair publicly encouraging bullying tactics at the Game Developers Conference in 2019, where she instructed attendees to terrorize video game developers. Now, I went over this many times. I don't have to go over this anymore, but I made a video and actually reacted to that thread on a live stream on Hypnocast, so make sure you check me out 9 p.m. Eastern. Given that the post discussing the current state of the video game industry and her post from June being referenced as her being authority on the topic, that authority was immediately undercut when Mahler simply stated, I'm the director behind both Ori games, and I don't know who you are or how you are affiliated with Ori with a question mark. Now, that was such an absolute destruction in the simplest ways, and they had a little bit of a melty. They had a little bit of a meltdown. In response to this, they admitted, I worked with Xbox user research. I was the URA for global publishing during 18 to 2020. Nice to meet you. According to SmashJT.com, she also deleted a post that stated, yep, I worked with Xbox user research, Deborah Henderson. Mahler then responded, that could explain it. I didn't want to cause you any trouble. I just saw you posting that you worked on Ori and I had no idea who you are. He added, since you're calling people names online, I thought it was important to inform people that you never actually worked for Moon Studios and that you didn't ever directly engage with anyone at Moon. Always be nice to people, Ray, even those you disagree with, Mahler advised. Now, Mahler's such a class act, man. He's a prime example of what a leader should fucking be when it comes to gaming, because again, that last line is perfect, right? Be nice to people, Ray, even those you disagree with. I understand. There are some people that I disagree with that I will never be nice to. So you are immediately a better man than I am, man. I can genuinely admit that. You are a better person than I am for having that mindset, because these people are psychopaths. It's very hard to be nice to them when they are so unbelievably retarded. It's insane. But anyway, so he exposed her. And then when we get into it, this is where the professional at Dick's shows up. Then Alyssa Mercante decided to weigh in by attacking Mahler. She wrote, you're a dickhead. Mahler initially responded, I don't know who you are. It's like, You can't say that to Alyssa Mercante. You can't tell her you don't know who she is because this girl thinks the entire world knows her, right? She feeds off of attention. So the moment she gets anything that says that she's irrelevant or nobody knows who she is, she loses her mind. Which Mercante then reminded him that she worked for Kotaku, who ran a hit piece written by Ethan Gach against Moon Studios and Mahler back in 2022. So she says, maybe you forgot, and then she thinks that this article has any fucking merit or weight to it whatsoever. Mahler then provided Mercante with a masterclass on how video game development worked. He wrote, "You're apparently a journalist from Kotaku, so I'm guessing you haven't worked in actual game development yet. Let me try to explain the thing you posted about, which I'm guessing was from that hit piece from a few years back. Yes, I'm guilty of what's stated in that image, and that's okay, because this is the normal creative process. We brought lots of veterans into Moon because generally great people want to get the opportunity to work on great projects, and that's our goal at Moon. We always set out to create the kind of games we'd love to play ourselves that fill some hole in the market because of the reason these holes haven't been filled yet." Well, she's an expert at getting holes filled, so I really wouldn't be telling her this, but that's besides the point. "And so we're all incredibly passionate about what we do," he continued. "So is she when it comes to filling holes." Mahler elaborated, "With great talent comes lots of enthusiasm and passion, which absolutely leads to arguments because ultimately everyone is working hard on getting their vision into the game. But also everyone at Moon understands that we're working together as a team. So the point of these arguments is then to try to convince each other why this or that solution would be the best thing for the game that we're making, and the best solution ought to win. Most of the time, the beauty behind these arguments is that everybody gets a chance to contribute, and more often than not, the actual solution will be the one that ultimately everybody contributed to, because we're dealing with a very complex set of issues all the time, and complex problems often need complex solutions," he explained. "It is often a chaotic process, but it's controlled chaos. And yes, absolutely every now and then, I have to put my foot down and set the direction, because I am the game director, and ultimately it's my responsibility to ensure that everyone knows where things are heading and that the decisions get made." Now, this particular comment is class act, man. It is top tier. And the reason why is because a good leader knows when to put their fucking foot down, right? People who work at Kotaku, they don't have leadership because the inmates run the asylum over there. They're all absolutely insane. They tried to put their foot down with their journalists and said, "Hey, we need to focus on making gaming stuff again." And then these absolute losers were like, "But what about our social cause? What about our activism? You can't take that away from us. That's not right." And then they reverted that request like a week later. So it's very clear that there is no leadership over at Kotaku, and everybody's just running their own thing. It's the inmates running the asylum. He continued, "And yes, it also happened that I agreed to a certain decision, playtested some more, and changed the direction after. Again, to me, this is a normal part of the process. Since things get clearer and clearer, the more stuff gets implemented, and the more we play and test. To me, all this is just how creative work happens," he shared. "It can be painful, but my job, like any good director, is to understand what's going on to make sure the right decisions get made, even if some work might get rendered useless in the process. See here, even Miyamoto is guilty of that," and then links something that Miyamoto has done in the past with an article. Mahler then posited that this article was likely influenced by a number of disgruntled employees who were let go. "A few years back, we hired some folks that didn't really fit our culture, so we had to part ways with them, and then this article happened. Wasn't a great feeling to see some ex-Moon folks talk badly behind our backs, but ultimately, it just made it clear that these folks shouldn't have worked at Moon in the first place, and I hope they're happier now wherever they landed." It looks like to me that they got rid of some toxic employees, that the moment they got fired, they wanted to run to some journalist and try to do a hit piece, and the one person who's going to do that is Alyssa Mercante. So it's not shocking, right? It's not shocking that she or even Ethan Gach were involved, because they're all losers, every single one of them. Then he says, "I don't know why you're out here cursing out game developers." Oh, don't worry, bro. She's cursing out gamers too. She's cursing out everybody who is her customer and client base. I just find it interesting. And what your whole deal is, but I hope that gave you some insight into the creative process and its messiness and beauty, he shared. He then concluded writing, "I hope you have a nice day. Yours, dickhead." So again, guys, Mercante did not respond. She did. She actually did. I wish I had it on the Twitter post, but she ended up responding with a picture, the Cyberpunk meme that says, essentially, "Too long, didn't read. Sorry that you're mad." Yeah, that's what she responded with. So she took all of this and she responded with too long, didn't read. That's how much of an absolute loser she is. So it's very clear that all she wanted to do was cause controversy. The same woman who's trying to sue Smash JT for essentially causing controversy towards her by putting up a mirror to her tweets. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you could like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.